Ha. Remove the Palentonga roll mutation. It was still randomly obtainable by any species, but with no actual effect. That's pretty funny. Um, anyway, there's not really anything that affects my character. Um, I would say that these commits are rather lacking in content, but it's not really the case. Like, it's absolutely not the case. We all know that there's been a lot of content added to 0.30 since the tournament ended. There's been Reaver, there's been Armatur. There was something else, right? Like, oh yeah, and the nerf to Manifold Assault. Yeah, there's been a couple of like impactful things to change and shake up the game. Mm. But anyway, back to this Armatur of Okawaru. When we last saw this character, we had 58 armor class and 4 evasion, and I had just decided to train some dodging. I'm carrying a random assortment of artifacts, and I have some pretty great defenses. Mm. I also have one people willpower, which is probably going to be a very important thing for me to have. One people willpower, pretty good thing to have on a mutation because I only have one other source of willpower. I'm also using crystal. Well, it's not a crystal ball; it's an orb of energy. Um, and I have been feeling the positive effects of having it. Like the accuracy increase is actually quite noticeable. I think that considering my rather low defense, it's a much better item to be using than a shield. Even though I do have some pretty good shields, I think this is just a straight up better. Mm. So my defenses and resistances allow me to disregard those guys, not be afraid of them at all, pretty much. Um, Perhaps not the wisest thing to do, and I am training evasion because I'm kinda a bit unnerved by having 4, well now 5 evasion. I assume that by the end of the game it should be roughly 10 or so. At least that's how it was on my previous character. My previous character was wearing lighter armor, however. Um, was it? Or did it also win with gold scales? No idea. Um, Anyway, this Parentonga, or like Armatur, this Armatur Reaver, it's gonna take a little bit of adjusting. Parentonga Armatur thing. Um, they're pretty good Reavers, you know? They have pretty good strength and pretty decent intelligence. They're just like significantly better than Palentonga. It's like everything that Palentonga should have been, but never was. That's how I think of Armatur. Anyway, um, I hope that whoever watches this has a good weekend. I hope that you enjoy your free time over the weekend. I will go out as I often do, and we shall see how that goes. I anticipate less expenditure in my future, which will be good. I'll have a chance to save up for perhaps some some other cool things. I want a Steam Deck, but I need to buy it and or like order it and have it shipped to my cousin who lives in New York, so he can deliver it to me over the holiday. I wonder if I'm gonna be able to amass that amount of money before I can, or before my cousin comes back to Mexico for the holiday. If he does come back to Mexico anyway, because um, it's um, it's not so sure, you know. It's not so sure. Mm. Overwatch 2 released this week. Been grinding that. Enjoy your Overwatch 2. As for myself, my experience with Overwatch was pretty much limited to getting the game, I think, in a Humble Bundle. I got the Humble Bundle for another game and I just got Overwatch, I think, even though Overwatch was the main game. And getting 3 17 GB patches in the course of a single week, like 3 different 17 GB patches. And I was like, nope. One was perhaps even reasonable. Two is kind of like not something that I agree with, but three is like where I draw the line. Like, if you're gonna send three 17 GB patches over the course of a week, I'm not gonna play your game. And that's pretty much how it all ended for me on Overwatch. Um, I kind of liked it, but I don't know. I didn't like it that much. I don't like shooters that much. They're not my favorite. If I'm gonna be playing a competitive game, I would rather have it be a one versus one game, where I can analyze my decisions and like everything that happened and say, hey, I lost because I did this, or I just lost because my opponent was better, instead of having the uncertainty of relying on four or five other people, or however many you have to play with, and hope that they all play as well as possible. Mm, or that you are good enough to compensate for how poorly your teammates are playing. That kind of thing. Like, uh, that's kind of how I look at multiplayer games. That's why I don't really like them that much. Oof, pretty bad Tin of Tremorstones here. Been taking a lot of damage, huh? Hmm. Gonna hero finesse this. Oh, this guy has a tower shield. That explains everything. Uh, it's kind of crazy to me that even um, with 15-9 armor class, I still take a lot of damage. Yeah. I wonder if there's something that I can do other than... Oh, that kind of works. Yeah, it worked out just fine. I read a Scroll of Fear to make one of the guys run away from the Bolt Warden, so that I could then roll into the guy to myself break away from the Bolt Warden. Um, it's an interesting thing to do if you have infinite rampaging, mm, which is just like any rampaging, I suppose. Alrighty. Hey, look at that, my evasion went up to 6. Sweet. I don't expect it to be much higher. I thought that I was gonna get to 10, but nah, probably not. StarCraft 2 best 1 versus 1 game. It's an RTS. I tried to get into RTS a couple of years ago because I really enjoyed Age of Empires when I was younger, when I was a kid. But like obviously I played with like cheats and stuff, so I wanted to play that properly. And then I realized that I kind of didn't really like it that much. It's just too much stress, too many actions and micromanaging and stuff. And I decided that it was not for me after all. But it was a good thing that I decided to do it. I think that it is a good idea to every now and then revisit the things that you have enjoyed in the past, to look at them through different eyes, through the vision of a person with more life experience and stuff. This is not only limited to games. This relates to everything in life, I think. Mm, Movies and books and stuff. Maybe some things that you liked 5 years ago or so, you can read now and you can be like, wow, that's actually like pretty lame or so. Um, that kind of thing. Mm. I do tend to submit myself to that every now and then, and like sometimes I even like take it a step further and I just don't do it because I know that I'm not gonna like it. Yeah, I don't have to watch or reread or re-experience the thing to know that I have changed in such a way that it's just like not for me anymore. Um, but yeah. Mm, that hurt me so much. Like I'm amazed at how much damage this character takes every now and then. I probably should not be training more armor because nah, it's fine. Let's get it to 27. I think stopping at 22 when you have a Kawaru is the correct thing to do, but I'm already almost at 27, so whatever. Mm, It's nice to have a couple of potions of heal wounds as an Armatur. These guys actually do get a lot of value out of those potions. They're kind of insane. Um, Hello, Kosisu. Is Armatur also slow like the other Barding users? No, they're speed 1.0. In fact, you could even say that they're faster because they have rampaging. So like they cover ground faster when they are walking towards enemy monsters. Mm, perhaps get rid of the mighty monster. Yep. Mm, so yeah, I would say that Armator is pretty strong. As far as a melee species goes, it's pretty strong. I don't know if it's better than Minotaur or anything, but I also don't think that that was ever the intention for these guys. They're pretty decent. Yeah. If you want to have a decent time playing a melee character and you don't want to play something like a Minotaur or a Healorc, Armator, especially Armator Reaver. I feel like Armator Reaver is pretty good. Mm, I'm amazed at my first original, how do you call it, assessment of Reaver. I thought that it was gonna be pretty good with Jin, but upon playing Jin Reaver, I encountered that it is not really the case. It does start with some spells that are okay, you know, and Reaver does, or like Jin does get other spells then that can compensate or complement the ones that you start with, because the ones that you start with as a Reaver are not spammable. Um, but no, I think that when it comes to playing Reaver, it is much more important to have a species that actually has like a decent melee and fighting and stuff. Um, much more so mm, than magic aptitudes. Anyway, this is not even a Reaver. This is a Cinder Acolyte. Should try Armatur Cinder Acolyte. I mean, I was just thinking about Reaver because Cinder Acolyte and Reaver are rather similar in the sense that they're backgrounds that get good melee and good magic to begin the game. Mm, I'm sure the lack of Ignis won't really be as much of an issue. Hmm. And this character is kind of insane, but it is completely understandable. This character already did depths, so now I'm just enjoying the reward of doing early depths and running around in this accursed place, better known as Bolts, with 59 armor class and 1 pip in every resistance that is slightly relevant. Destroying absolutely everything with my +8 Evening Star. Mm, I still have yet to get an Armator that doesn't get crazy good loot. This is most likely gonna end in a win. I still shouldn't like rejoice in me winning this character because I can still manage to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory after all. But it's looking like a pretty good character at the very least. Have I already done Elf? Um, no. Okay, let's do that. Mm, surely a victory. I would like to hope so, but then again, there's been some situations where I just drop very low on HP and I have to use blinking even after having 59 armor class, which is a really, really strange situation. But it is a situation that I've been in the receiving end of, so yeah, there's nothing guaranteed just yet. Mm. It is an important lesson in humbling when you lose a character with the invulnerable title, because those kinds of characters usually have actually absurd levels of armor class and like overall really great defenses, right? So yeah, it's like, yep, don't do that again, or else, kind of thing. Mm. Okay, let's take a look at what's in there. Nothing. I mean, they have gear, but it is pretty bad gear. And there is a -3 letter armor on the floor. So yeah, pretty bad gear. I'm gonna stick around with the Scarf of Repulsion. I think that I might want to switch to Resistance for Sot, perhaps. But even in sword repulsion has quite a lot of value because it means that it's less likely for you to get hit by a crystal spear or an iron shot or an acid spit. You know, those nasty sort things that do happen to characters every now and then. Mm. And yeah, well, I've been talking about the random stuff with the crawl character in the background. Like, there's not really a lot to say. If there's something interesting happening, I'll talk about what the interesting thing is. Like, for example, whenever I drop low on HP. But I don't know if you've already noticed. I'm blazing through levels. When I started the stream 17 minutes ago, right? Let's say that I spent 2 or 3 minutes in looking at other people's games because I do that at the very beginning of every stream. Um, while I'm getting a little like while I'm getting some things ready, and then so I've been playing for 15 minutes, let's say, perhaps even 16. Um, and in that time, I did the entirety of Bolts and I did Elf 1. And it's not really been such a like bad situation for me. Like I've not been in trouble even once. Um, and I'm about to be done with Elf 2, and I also fought Azrael. This character is something else. It is a juggernaut. I guess it's a pretty good way to put it. Absolute juggernaut. Um, what do I like the most about Armatur? Armatur is pretty good. There's a couple of things that I like. The potion effects is probably the most unique thing that they have, and like it's pretty cool to actually have heal wounds do something later in the game. Um, and the getting double potion of experience is also kind of crazy. It is quite busted. Mm, the rolls are nice. The big defenses and resistances are, well, the big defenses are pretty nice. They get every inventory slot. The only thing is that the barding slot is difficult to fill because it is a barding. Let's see if I've gotten any interesting gifts. I did get a great mace and a sling in bolts and an animal skin, but who wants to? Like, I got a +0 animal skin as a god gift from Okawaru. Just classic Okawaru things. Um, Now that I think about it, however, it's very difficult to get an animal skin as an item now, unless you start as a berserker. It used to be that those dropped from like jacks and stuff, but eventually they were removed from the game as drops from jacks because who is going to wear that? In a similar fashion, I think it would not be such a terrible idea to fix or remove some of the dragon scales that nowadays drop, or make some drops from monsters more interesting. Like, for example, I think that Park Hit's Troll Leather Armor should be like +12 or something absurd, so that people actually look forward to Park Hit, not only for the gold scales, but also for the potentially very highly enchanted Troll Leather Armor. Anyway, I took these gold scales off of Park Hit. I found 2 golden dragons before finding and fighting Park Hit, and I didn't get the golden scales from those. So it was a nice thing that I found Park Hit, because otherwise it might have not been the case that I could have gotten gold skills. And after all, I did go into depths for the express purpose of finding that item and equipping it before progressing through the rest of the game, because I felt powerful enough to be able to do such a thing. And I was not mistaken, I think. Attraction. Immolation. Do I even have that? I do. And yeah, the explosions begin. I could just stab them down, all of them. It's not really that much of an issue, but I think that it is just like more time effective if I did that and got rid of a lot of these guys like that. I didn't even like hero or finesse or anything, but hero is nice. I think that hero is a pretty good thing to do here because it will increase The amount of evasion that I have varies slightly, but any amount of evasion counts whenever it comes to dodging crystal spears and stuff. Anyway, I took on the entirety of this in a single fight, like it was nothing. But then again, this character, yeah, as I always say, getting the 3 runes is just a formality sometimes. And with this character, getting the 3 runes was absolutely a formality. I think that such should not be like rune locked. Like straight up not rune locked, because if you get to depths 4 on a character, like you are most likely gonna be able to just do sot and be just fine. Salamander hide I see on the floor, or like worn by one of these guys. This time there's a lot of interesting loot. Salamander hide armor. The amulet of intercession. This amulet is not good. It was close to greatness, but it was not able to get quite there. Maxwell's patent armor. This is pretty good. Is it better than what I have? No, it is not. So I'm not going to equip it. I think this character wants exactly one item, and that would be a Ring of Resistance to Corrosion that also gives it resistance to negative and dexterity, so that I can get more evasion. And that's pretty much all that I could possibly wish for on this character. I'm gonna switch back to the Scarf of Resistance, and I can either do Bolts 5 to potentially find my ridiculous artifact, or just go do SOT. Though once again I got what is this thing called? Treasure Trove. I got one of those that wants the Horn of Herion again, so it's the second game in a row. I could make a little visit to Herion this time. Play a bit more carefully and just grab that. Plus 11 crystal plates. That's a pretty good thing to have. Unfortunately, I cannot carry it. Just out of curiosity, 61 and 6 evasion. And it also nukes my defenses. Does it really? Not that much. It's a pretty nice thing to have, however. I might want to try it for a bit. I like the region, and I like it gives me more armor class than the gold scales. I think that for SOT I'll switch to the gold scales regardless. But let's try this for the vestibule hell. 15 rune? Nah, 15 rune, no. We're not doing that. I only do 15 rune runs with spellcasters, because spellcasters are significantly better at doing 15 rune runs than melee characters. Also, like, this character is really strong, right? But it is not really strong in the same sense as a deep elf with Firestorm and Robo Folly would be. If I was a deep elf with Firestorm and Robo Folly, as you can see, so pretty much if I was playing a deep elf in this seat, I would probably go do 15 runes. But with this character, not really. Okay, we get rid of Herion. There we go. Not really that complicated. I cannot carry that many items. Let me drop these poison darts real quick. Pick up the Horn of Herion. And let's get out now. I'll come back later. Yep, or perhaps never. Trove. Before going in, let me drop all of these things. And let's go in. It's the same trove that I got with my previous character. It's pretty surprising. Like, literally the same layout. Last time, the jellies ate a scroll of blinking here, and I was pretty sad about it. This time there's no scroll of blinking. Manual of Evocations is pretty nice. I could train for that. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the plus 12 of the gold scales. I like the 2 pips of fire resistance with a chance to go up to 3. I think that is a very important thing to have access to when it comes to dealing with orbs of fire and that kind of thing. Okay, I'm not carrying any armors or weapon, or any armor or weapons that can be enchanted further. This character is pretty crazy. I have to tell you that this character is something else. Mm, I would like to be able to cast Vice Electric Charge, but I think it's probably too much of an investment for something that I won't really get that much use of. Just to roleplay a Balentonga with actually good aptitudes, and um, that is desirable to play, I guess. Comfy Taff Mashing stream so far. Yeah, that is correct. Double Rampaging with Woo You Wonder? I don't think it works. Or does it? I don't remember. I don't remember if it works. Because Wu does get the launch attacks, and Rampaging makes you move one more. Does it stack? I don't really remember. Anyway, um, I think it does stack now. Now that I think about it, but it works like it makes you move faster towards the monsters, but it doesn't like make you deal more damage or so. Um, let's go do SOT, I suppose. Oh, I have not done the entirety of Depths. Yeah, 27 minutes, and I did Bolts 4, Depths, and the Vestibule of Hell. Bolts 4, Elf, and the Vestibule of Hell. Not bad. Oh, I don't think I finished that level. I left that level the moment that I got my gold scales from Parkit. I didn't fully explore this. It should be easy to do this. Oh, you know what? Perhaps for this place I should. Yeah, perhaps for this place I can stick with the crystal plate. Mm. Man, this character is something else. Huh. A couple of these funny rooms. Nothing to worry about. They don't really pose much of a threat for this character. I can pretty much hold down tab. It's not quite what I'm doing, but I can pretty much hold down tab and get rid of all of that. I assume that these far giants are not real far giants and they were summoned from the Rakshasa. So that's why I wanted to kill the Rakshasa first. Ooh, rendered globes. They're not gonna be better than the Gauntlets of War, but then I have 7,000 money, so sure. And yeah, they're the globes of peace. They're not the Gauntlets of War, so literally the antithesis of the Gauntlets of War. Mm. It is almost impossible for a Randar to generate that is better than the Gauntlets of War. That's how good they are. And that's how strong of a property slaying is. Just like having 5 slaying in your globe slot is great because it is not a property that is commonly associated with auxiliary slots. It can happen, of course, but more often than not, what you get in your auxiliary slots is like, well, mostly defenses, but also a little bit of resistances every now and then, if you get lucky enough. But the Gauntlets of War give you the chance to get slaying, which is great. Yeah, I'm just like destroying everything. Perhaps this Orb of Light thing is underrated. I don't think that my character is like that crazy when it comes to, accuracy, apart from like the Orb. I feel like if I tried to do what I've been doing versus these Spriggans without the Orb of Light, it would be going much worse. So I should try one-hander plus Orb of Light in the future with some of my characters, especially characters like these that don't really have the greatest of aptitudes for melee weapons. -1 is not the greatest. Yeah, I mean it's not unusable, as you can see very clearly exemplified by this character, but it's not great either. It's not like plus. The difference is quite noticeable, especially earlier in the game. But at the end of the day, aptitudes don't matter that much if you have a crazy strong character like this one. Okay. There we go. I got Plate of Cold Resistance from Okawaru. I won't be using that. I will be using this, however. Plus 12 gold scales. Let's go over here. and SOT 1. After finishing this character today, I will be playing Infinity Wars. I haven't played in a bit, but I did say that I was gonna play that at least once per week on stream. It's a pretty good game in general. If you have never seen it, it's a card game. Mm, you get the whole collection on account creation, and you just like have to either pay or acquire your cosmetics for the cards and stuff, the animations, and have them be in color instead of black and white. It's pretty nice. It doesn't limit um, your creativity and your maximum power in deck building in the way that pretty much every other card game does it. So I consider that to be a pretty good thing. Um, as long as it eventually becomes like a pretty good product that is like functional and it runs well and it's not buggy, then that's gonna be great. It might actually be a big thing this time around. Mm, I'm not a big fan of these. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the current situation. I guess I'm gonna use Immolation. Ooh, I dodged a Crystal Spear there, an Iron Shot. Okay, at this amount of HP, those are kind of dangerous. I'm standing on a cloud of fire, which is nice. I would rather be standing on fire than miasma. Ice Blast? It's a good thing that I have Ice Blast instead of Roots. Not a big fan of Roots. Okay, Poison Arrow hits you but does no damage. I have File of Loss right here for you. And if only I could get over there, but I have rather low HP, so I'm not going to do that. Mind Burst? Yeah, Mind Burst gets the job done. I only have 2 charges, but still. That was more interesting than anything else that has happened in the rest of this stream. I fought so many things. This part of SOT 1 is completely separated. Cool. Did I hit a teleport trap? No, I got shafted and then I went upstairs. That's what happened. Well, a shafting sub can be pretty devastating. So I'm glad to see that it wasn't the case this time. Yeah, this character is kind of insane. I've been enjoying it quite thoroughly. But I think that I am kind of ready to try another kind of Armatur, one that doesn't get really busted really quickly into the game. I think that these guys are supposed to be neutral, but because I'm with Okawaru, they're hostile. Even the Orb of Fire is hostile here, but yeah, this is normally the sauna bolt where it's full of red draconians, and an Orb of Fire that is kind of like the sauna stone that is producing all the steam. Very flavorful bolt. It's a rock, so I could also kill the Orb of Fire, but I'm not going to because at the end of the day, it is an Orb of Fire. We go downstairs into immediately being berserked. How about no? Okay, so far so good. My HP does drop, but it doesn't drop that much. Oh, this guy is kind of dangerous because it has a polearm and it is a berserker. Let's try to walk away from it. Yeah, I was like, why is my HP dropping? And then I realized that it's because of those pesky polearm monsters, especially when they're berserk, they can be pretty bad. You know, using digging is a rare luxury, but in SOT, not only does SOT has layouts that often let you do this kind of thing, like a good old kill hole, but also you have the resource already by the time you go to SOT. So I feel like in SOT is where I find myself using digging in a defensive way the most. I would use it in lure, but the thing is that digging is such a rare consumable that there's a very good chance that by the time you get to lure, you just don't have it. Mm, oof, teleport trap. Interesting. I think that the stairs are right here, yeah. I'm starting to wonder if there's something messed up with the level generator because last time last game, last with my last character, I had a similar sequence of levels already. Did I fail to duel? Oh, I did fail to duel. Interesting. Did I fail to duel again? Twice, with a 5% chance to succeed. All right. Did you know that if you get Berserk, you lose your finesse? Like, they're not compatible with each other. It is kind of annoying, but not really that much. It is a shame, however, since Finesse is a more powerful offensive ability than Berserk is, if we don't take into account the might. In terms of pure attack speed, Finesse gives you more attack speed than Berserking. That is, of course, compensated by the fact that Berserk just gives you haste instead of attack speed, so you can also use Berserk to get to monsters faster and to run away from monsters, you know, all that stuff. Oh, I ran out of the manual of evocations. Let's go back to training. HP, because I want some HP. Mm. A bit of a shame that I won't be getting to 60 armor class. I would like to have 60, but there's nothing that I could enchant. Perhaps I could wear a buckler of protection if I want 60 armor class. Mm. By the way, despite my incredible amounts of armor class, I still think that a character like this would be better off, or like not a character like this, but like a character in general would be better off with more balanced defenses. So like take the 59-7 that I have and like distribute it evenly between armor class and evasion, giving you slightly more armor class and evasion, and the character would end up being significantly tankier than this one, because at the end of the day, having a lot of evasion does help you dodge a lot of things. Evasion only feels bad when you rely on it, when it's like literally the only thing that the character does. Like whenever you're playing a cat, that's when evasion feels bad. And when you complain about getting hit and losing 60 or 70% of your life, despite the fact that you only got hit once that floor. But anyway, with this character I do get hit pretty much every time, so the HP loss is very gradual. It's not explosive, so I can like be at relatively low amounts of HP, let's say 70 HP or so with this character, and I would still feel rather okay. Like at that point I would probably start to disengage, but I wouldn't really anticipate any large damage spikes unless there's something like a crystal spear flying at me, in which case I would be afraid, and I would try to prevent it. Look at this. I will put that on instead of the Ring of Resistance to Corrosion. That gives me 1 evasion, 2 slaying, fire resistance, 3 pips of fire resistance. Not bad. You had to run for the orb and dodge everything once because you couldn't kill anything. I've been there. It is not my favorite position to be in, but I've been there. Okay. I saw the stairs and I saw the Draconian band, and I decided to secure the stairs. And in the process, I killed a bunch of Draconians as well. If only these guys didn't have pole arms. It's a good thing that I brought this guy up with me, because otherwise, like, purple Draconian shifters are some of the scariest things that you can encounter here. They can surround you, but I would say that Guardian Serpents are more scary than purple Draconian shifters, in my opinion. The only damage spell you had was Summon Forest. Jeez, Summon Forest. Yeah, that's not my favorite one. I have Silence, so I can just silence Josephina. I don't even need to silence Josephina, but I'm gonna do it to trivialize her because she's a mage and I am a strong melee character that can afford to do this kind of thing. Okay, not a very difficult Josefina kill. Apart from silence, I didn't really need to buff in any way. Perhaps it would have been for the best if I had used something like hero or finesse before, just to make it extra safe, but I didn't think it was necessary. Everything went fine. We got the unfortunate great bolt in SOT 4. It's one of my least favorite bolts. It's pretty much a check of whether or not you have a way to dig, and if you don't have a way to dig, then it is painful. You have to get scorch or poisonous vapors. Fortunately, none of the draconians that spawn in there are poison resistant. I have 2 charges of digging. Oh boy. Do I have poisonous vapors? I have ignite poison at the very least. I don't see poisonous vapors here. Nope, I don't have that. Nope, I don't have that. Okay, so this is gonna be painful. Yep, that's gonna be very, very annoying. I don't know how I would like to deal with those guys. But what I can tell you is that all 3 stars are in there, so like it is mandatory to deal with that. You cannot progress without dealing with that in one way or another. I guess you can sneak through with a potion of invisibility as long as you remember to do that on the way back up. And I think that may not be the worst thing to do. That's probably what I'm gonna go for. Mm. It's so strange to be this strong. I don't really have characters this strong normally, but this just got absolutely all that there was to get. All the loot and um, all the loot in general, I suppose. The only thing that it is missing that my previous character had was the Amulet of Vitality. The Amulet of Vitality is not even that important for this character because it cannot take advantage of the mana regen. I'm struck by lightning and I took 0 damage even though I was struck by lightning. I think I'm just gonna run past. Oh, look at that! Only 2 out of the 3 stars were here actually. That's nice. But yeah, you just saw what happens if you try to run past. It's just extremely, extremely painful. Not a fan at all. I wonder if this leads to the bolt. It does. Okay, so I'm gonna exclude that. There's apparently one set of stairs that doesn't lead to the bolt, which is a pretty great sight to see. Yeah, I wanted to drink 3 before that happened. It's fine. I can just drink 3 now. That's very seriously nerfed my HP, however, which is worrisome. Not only did it nerf my HP, it also nerfed my armor class. I lost a lot of it. After this, I think I'm gonna drink cancellation to move. It's a good thing that I happened to stumble upon the second one of those guys. While I still had the potion of 3 up. That went fine. Yeah, if I understand this correctly, this is safe, right? It is safe. And very much the desirable way to go upstairs. Yeah. Looking pretty good, Looking pretty good. We should be able to just finish this now. I'm gonna read the magic mapping now to see what the trap layout is. Beautiful, no traps in the entrances. An alarm trap and another alarm trap here, a bit harder to take advantage of, but this one will be pretty great. Okay, so just jump on it. Step here, use Hero Finesse, perhaps even Might and Resistance. Keep in mind that I am an Armatur, so potion duration is double. Double potion duration. Pretty nice thing to have. I think that the Hilo removes any kind of semblance of stealth that I would have that would prevent me from killing everything in this very comfortable position. I lost a little bit of dexterity, it doesn't matter. The Orb of Fire got absolutely dumpstered. The Killer Clown also got absolutely dumpstered. How much damage am I dealing with this? 61. I'm dealing 61 and it's a one-handed weapon. I've had characters with two-handed weapons deal significantly less than that. Um, yeah, I would be a bit unnerved if I lost the willpower. That would be bad. So hopefully it won't happen. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna wait. Let's see if I can get acid. Okay, I didn't get acid. It's okay. Kawaru is honored by my kill. The crystal spear hits you. That's fine. Gonna drink a potion of curing because I have 6. What else am I going to do too? I'm not gonna step on the clouds. I got hit by another crystal spear, but this time it only dealt 19. There is a couple of very dangerous things on the screen right now. The killer clowns and the crystal spears are pretty bad. The killer clowns can turn me into a bat, and then like that's extremely bad. I'm also gonna hero finesse again. I'm gonna refresh that. The killer clowns also tend to spread over the level, as you can see, because of their blinks. Pretty scary fellas. They're pretty hurt, however, and this time I didn't seem to be turned into a bat. It didn't happen. Beautiful. I think that what just happened with that character is a pretty good example of what I normally would call a really strong character. I'm not mighty anymore, nor hero, nor... Okay, I only have resistance. Does resistance last for longer or something? It seems to me like that may be the case. Okay, lost a little bit of stats, it's fine. Lots of killer clowns. Okay, finally I turned into something undecidable. Time to drain cancellation. Okay, so I'm gonna wait here. Gonna rest to full HP next to this alarm trap and then just get out once, or like not get out, like trigger this second alarm trap just to make sure that I don't have to fight anything inside of that very inconvenient position. Whenever characters can afford to do this kind of thing, you know that they're pretty powerful characters. The alarm didn't really last for that long this time. But it still pulled a fair amount of dudes, which is pretty sweet. Fighting them like this is perfect. Much easier than if I was fighting them all in the open, multiples at the same time. Yep. Enough distraction to get sneak attacks on the occasional golden dragon. Oh, like that sounds like absolute pain and suffering for me. I would not enjoy playing a character like that. I very much prefer playing characters like these that are actually really strong. It's been a while since I've had characters that feel as dominant as these ones in Melee, these Armaturs. The two of them that I've had have been extremely strong. I'm very blessed by the RNG, by the Floor God. I've gotten everything that there is to get. 3 alarm traps right here. But I think we're good. I think that yeah, we already killed everything. After all that, Mark would have been surprised. I would have been surprised if there were any monsters left. So yeah, time to pick up the Orf. Do I have to do anything else? Not really. Yeah, the loot in this character is just like insane. Look at that. Um, oh, pretty good um, teleport. Put me very close to an exit that I should not take because that leads to a part of the level that I don't want to be in. A part of the previous level. It leads to that death trap that I didn't clear. Um, Perhaps I should have learned pass wall. It's a bit too late for that. It doesn't matter. Or does it? I'm gonna dig. I think it does matter. If I don't dig, I would spend a lot more time in this level. Mm. Oh, there's a sod trap right there. Cannot go through that. Mm. Okay, we got a Panlord Duner. Mm. Poison arrow, abjuration, no evasion, weak to cold, immune to fire. Yeah, that's very easy to kill. I will kill it. I'm just gonna wait around the corner for it to get closer, and then I'm gonna tab it, and then it's gonna die because it doesn't have evasion. I deal so much damage that armor class doesn't really present as much of a threat to this character as you would think. Evasion is much more worrisome, and even then, it's not the end of the world to fight a highly evasive monster since I have um, the thingy, the orb of light. That thing's accuracy increase has been probably very impactful. It's a shame that it is hard to determine that kind of thing in crawl, and that's like very much by design. Like you're not supposed to kind of figure out those things out and stuff to avoid micro or like to avoid meticulous min-maxing. But I would like to be able to tell if the item was good or not for this character at least. Mm. Okay, another Panlord. This time it comes with an Ancient Lich. It has Torment and High Evasion. You know what we do to these Panlords? We blink to the stairs and then we get out. That's what we do to those Panlords. Um, I would have fought it if it had not been accompanied by a Lich, perhaps. It would have still been dangerous to fight it because of the Torment. In general, if you see a Panlord with Torment or with a level 9 spell, perhaps the correct thing to do is to not fight it altogether. Um, you did not plan it that way. It was a Spriggan Enchanter. Yeah, whenever it happens, it happens. I don't like Spriggan Enchanter because I feel like it just ends really, really weak. I don't like the stealthy playstyle. Whenever possible, I try to go around and kill monsters and jump on alarm traps in SOT 5 and just like um, act as a blender and I just like destroy everything in SOT 5. Um, anyway, that was fast. It was fast and it turned out to be a pretty strong character at the end. 3 hours and 25 minutes. Armatur, Cinder, Acolyte. Not a pretty strong character in the end. Pretty strong character for the entirety of the game. I acquired this in Lair 4. I remember that I was gonna hold on to the acquirement and then I said to myself, are you crazy? Like, you're not gonna get anything better than the Evening Star in the rest of the game. And it turned out to be absolutely correct. I didn't get anything better than the Evening Star. I would be surprised if I had one. Yeah, if I had another Evening Star other than the one that I acquired so early into the game. I did get some great mazes and stuff, but no, what I ended up doing was correct. I'm gonna win at experience level 25. I could have done bolts 5 for experience level 27, but it was really not a necessity. Um, anyway, I think this character will also be going to YouTube just because the world deserves to see how insane this second Armatur win was. I insist that something must have changed with the game because I've been enjoying my 0.30 games a lot more. And I don't know if it's entirely related to the nerfs to some early game monsters that have already been enacted. Perhaps it's the fact that I am not playing as much Ice Elementalist as I did in previous versions. Because Ice Elementalist is strong, but it just suffers so much versus some specific monsters that are unfortunately pretty common in the earlier parts of the game, such as skeletons and undead. Anyway, let's inscribe this. Twitch.tv slash 9settler. And let's go ahead and win the game. I have escaped with the singing sword and the zealot sword and the ring of and the robe of folly and the gauntlets of war. Man, this character got so much stuff. This one did win with a barding. My previous Armatur won with like 30 or so armor class. This one got 59 armor class. Was an absolute juggernaut of a character. Invulnerable title is very descriptive of what that Armatur felt like. It was a great character. A big fan of that. Anyway, that's gonna be it for Crawl today. I will play 1 or 2 hours of Infinity Wars, and then I'll call it for the night.